Well, here we are. Yet another state of play has come and gone, and while it did personally fill me with excitement for the near future of the PlayStation brand, I can't lie and say there wasn't a drop of sorrow in my heart as PlayStation once again looked over their older titles. I know we're not supposed to get overly hyped for state of plays, as it's easy to get burned, but Sony hasn't been the most communicative to their fans over the past year, so we never truly know what to expect. But yeah, I think it's safe to say native backwards compatibility on PlayStation 5 for systems older than PS4 is probably never coming. We shouldn't be surprised, and I'm honestly not at this point. Jim Ryan, the still semi-recently promoted head of PlayStation, is on the record as saying in regard to retro titles, why would anyone play this? Not every game can get a port like the Jak and Daxter trilogy, so hardware emulation would be the obvious solution, but with that seemingly not being an option, what does Sony have in mind for those who would like to access older titles? Well, howdy there, kid. You can step up to try PS Now, says Jim Ryan. I can tell you, I've tried PS Now. It is very much not the same. At the beginning of this year, I decided 2021 was going to finally be the time where I experienced the Metal Gear franchise. Finally find out why Hideo Kojima is looked upon as the incarnation of Christ by some in the gaming sphere, and yeah, I get it now. But I couldn't play that game on my PS5. I had to find my PS Vita, which for some reason isn't allowed to download the original Metal Gear Solid from the PlayStation Store directly. So I had to go plug in my PlayStation 3, which hasn't been used since 2013, download MGS1 to that system, connect my Vita to the PS3, wait for the game to slowly transfer, and then finally be able to experience one of the most celebrated games in history. Almost every other Metal Gear is on PS Now. Why isn't MGS1 on there too? Now you may say, Matt, this is a Konami issue. Sony doesn't control the Metal Gear franchise and where ports of the games are available, and you would be correct. However, Sony has not added a single PS1 title to PlayStation Now since its inception, so as far as I know, publishers haven't even been given the option, so that excuse fails for me. This isn't a problem solely relegated to the Metal Gear franchise either. So many awesome, unique titles that are stranded on older hardware as prices continue to rise. Ones that specifically stand out to me include Atlus's 3D dot game Heroes, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, or obviously Naughty Bear Panic in Paradise.
Total defluffication! You defluff them all! Eradication!
Only playing the hits. You might notice I'm specifically calling out PS3 titles, and that's for a reason. PS1 and PS2 games are much more accessible than those trapped on the PS3. Emulators for the first two PlayStations have been around and functioned well enough for over a decade. The PS3 has finally got cracked open enough to be considered playable in the last 2 years, but the major titles aren't quite there yet. That's one of the reasons PS Now doesn't function as a library for PlayStation's game history, and the other is inherent to the medium. I'm not antagonistic towards the idea of game streaming. In the past, I've been thoroughly impressed by Nvidia's GeForce Now and even enjoyed Google Stadia when they gave out free units. Hell, I even frequently use remote play on my PlayStation 5 since my roommates are usually occupying our shared TV. However, the key factor is that these methods aren't my main methods of gaming. They are alternatives for specific situations, or in Google Stadia's case, like 15 minutes of play spurred by curiosity. Even on my dope-ass city Wi-Fi connection, the service isn't perfect, and even when it does run well, the limitations streaming presents are impossible to ignore. All the effort the art teams put into these titles has been compressed, causing haloing whenever there's a wisp of snow or rain visible in games. I experienced this myself when playing the intro sequence to Metal Gear Solid 2. You can actually see the resolution in the game increase when it's paused because there's no more compression going on. Going? Compressed because of the rain. Stopped? Look, it's so much clearer. It's hard to say, but PS Now as a method of game preservation is absolutely embarrassing compared to what Microsoft has provided on the Xbox platform. Games aren't only available to play natively on the console, but they're given seamless upgrades in the form of resolution boosts, HDR implementation, and as of now, FPS boosts. On PS Now, the servers are delivering you the game running on an exact emulation of how the title appeared on original hardware, so you're stuck with long load times and low resolution with virtually no upside besides being able to access the games at all to balance it out. When all the cards are laid on the table, PlayStation's advertising tactics that rely on nostalgia ring kinda hollow when it's obvious no one at the helm cares about the brand's history in a meaningful capacity. You cannot play the original Medieval on PS5, but sure as hell you can play the remake. It's a very Nintendo approach to backwards compatibility, if it even counts at all. And I really don't get it. IPs are what content brands live and die on. You would think Sony would want to keep the largest amount of their own series relevant and accessible, like a PlayStation. When Epic finally makes Fortnite into their weirdly terrifying corporate hellscape IP-friendly amorphous bastardization version of Ready Player One's Oasis a reality, at least I can go disconnect to play some PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. No picking Kratos though, he's beyond broken. At the end of it, I'm not really sure what I want. My dream would be PS3, PS2, and PS1 games being made downloadable through PS Now, like select PS4 titles are currently, but that's extremely unrealistic under current leadership. Why would anyone play this? I would, Jim. Me, Jim. Me! So, we're probably stuck waiting for inevitable remakes of popular titles, or picking up used copies on eBay before prices skyrocket completely, or maybe even picking up an Xbox. Also quickly, specific to Metal Gear Solid, come on Sony. Konami might have checked out of new games, but they're still doing ports. Look at the shitty version of MGS 1 and 2 they threw up on GOG. You're telling me you couldn't facilitate a native port for PS4? Wild. And don't tell me they're waiting for that Blue Point Metal Gear Solid remake. If that game is happening at all, we'll see it earliest in 2024. And I'll be 24 then. 24! That's basically dead. Hey, my name is Matt Borges. Thanks so much for watching my video. As always, make sure to subscribe here to Handsome Fan for reviews, previews, and all other sorts of goodness from our merry crew. Have a good one.